Hi, I'm Michael Brisbane, PGA professional from Mobile, Alabama. As you can see today, I'm dressed in some work clothes. I'm actually in my garage. It's a very cold day here. Matter of fact, it's Mardi Gras Day. Happy Mardi Gras to everybody. And I thought I would use this day to come out here and regrip my golf clubs. I try and regrip my clubs once a year, something that you should do as well. If you play a lot of golf, if you're playing 3 or 4 times a week, you should regrip your clubs more often. It's a part of your equipment that people really overlook, and the importance of having good grips is great. I mean, just it makes your clubs feel better, and you can take an old set of clubs, put new grips on them, and they feel kind of brand new. So I'm going to move the camera in here in a second and kind of just give you a little close-up, but I've already done a little preliminary work. I've taken all the grips off of my clubs. I like my grips built up by one extra layer of tape. I actually got very lucky here. The manufacturer, Bridgestone, which is the clubs that I play, the tape that they put on there was still good, so I didn't have to peel this off. The actual double-sided tape came right off of this, so all I'll have to do is put the double-sided tape back on it. But let me give you a little close-up here and show you what it looks like. Okay, let me show you a couple of the pieces of equipment or tools that you're going to need for this. You're going to need a utility knife. Okay, this is a straight edge utility knife. And you really need a second utility knife, and I'm going to hold this one up here. Now, you can see this hooked blade right here. That's for cutting the grips. You do not want to use a straight blade for cutting the grips. It ends up, you have to bear down on the grip, and if you have graphite shafts, you can cut the graphite shaft. Also, it can get pretty dangerous as far as, cutting yourself. If you use the hook blade, you just hook that blade up underneath the grip and you pull, and it cuts it off really easy. So get yourself a hook blade and a straight blade utility knife. I use a little shaft adapter here. This shaft adapter goes around the shaft, and then it fits right in my vise. I do recommend using a vise. It just makes the whole putting the grip on a whole lot easier. You become much quicker when you use a vise, and you are going to get your grips on a lot straighter. Okay, you have to have double-sided tape. Okay, this is a big roll of double-sided tape that I have. If you don't want to buy the whole double roll, the whole roll, when you look and you buy your grips, you can just buy little grip kits that come with pre-cut pieces of double-sided tape. Me, I will put grips on for some of my students if they need them, so I just have a roll of double-sided tape. And lastly, you're going to need some solvent. Now, solvent is what gets the glue on the tape liquefied so you can slide the grip on. And I personally use Coleman Camp Fuel. I just buy this one big can of it. It'll last me a year or so. You can use mineral spirits. You can actually buy grip solvent when you buy the tape. The grip solvent that you will buy will be a little less flammable, I think, than what I use. I like the Coleman Camp Fuel one. I can buy it in bulk, and it doesn't have a very strong smell. And then again, about 5 minutes after you put the grip on, you're ready to go. So let me show you the process here. Gonna just regrip my pitching wedge. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little shaft adapter and I'm going to clip it on the shaft. Okay, make sure that I get the whole shaft down in there. I'm going to slide it up the club, up the shaft pretty far. Then I'm going to stick the shaft adapter down in the vise, and then I'm going to make sure that my club face is nice and square. I want that leading edge of the club straight up and down. This is going to help me get my grip on straight. Okay, then just tighten my grip up on there so I have a good solid feel. Now, if you have a shaft that doesn't have any tape on it, you're probably going to want to measure your shaft with the grip so you know a starting point of where to put the tape. Because my shafts already have tape on them, it's very easy. So I'm going to take my double-sided tape, I'm just going to put one little edge on there, and I'm going to firmly secure it down. Now, here comes a very important part of this. You want to cut your tape so you leave, you know, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch extra hanging over the end, okay? When you get that hanging over the end, it's very important. That's the only way that your grip is going to go on. So do not fail to do this, okay? So now, I'm finished with that. So now, the double-sided tape has paper on one side. So I'm just going to take my fingernail here and strip the paper off. Okay, there you go. Paper came off. Now, I use a 2-inch wide or 2.5 inch wide tape, because I'm a guy, I like to just take one strip and wrap it around the grip. You can buy a thinner tape that you can then spiral around. I find that a little more difficult, a little more time consuming. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the tape, stretch it around my grip, and secure it. Now, I want you to watch this part. Here's the excess hanging over the edge. You just take it and fold it in and just kind of put it right in the end of the shaft. Now you have tape over the end of the shaft. If you don't get tape over the end of your shaft, the grip will not go on, okay? I promise you it will not go on. Now, I'm using, I like Golf Pride Tour Velvet grips is what I like to use on my clubs. Get whatever kind of grip that you want. Now, here's the great thing about doing grips yourself. You can put them on the way that you want them. You know, I mean, if you've played a lot of golf, you know what type of grip you like and what the feel is. Most of the time, you buy golf clubs and the name of the grip is going to be facing up at you when you play. I don't like to look at that. So I actually put my grips on with it underneath. So now I've got to use my solvent. Very important. I take my thumb and I put it over the hole in the butt end of the grip. You don't want your solvent coming out. I then take my squirt bottle, put the nozzle in there, and just very little, you just need a tiny little squirt. Take my other finger, put it over the end, and take the solvent and move it back and forth. And now, watch this part. I take my thumb and my finger and I pinch the end of the grip. This allows me to control the flow of the solvent. I've got a bucket down here underneath my golf club, and I take the solvent and I pour it out over the grip. Okay? Now, this is where you have to act fairly quickly. Put the grip on. I go from underneath, stretching the grip up over the top, and then with nice force, push that grip on. Okay? Make sure that you get it all the way on, and then make sure that the grip is lined up straight. And I'll show you what I'm using to line this up straight. Okay? Then take a towel, come under here. You're going to get a little excess liquid and maybe a little glue that'll come out onto the shaft. Wipe the butt end off. Okay? Then I take it out, and I always do 1 or 2 taps on the ground just to make sure that the grip is on there all the way. Okay? And there it is. Now I have a golf club that has been regripped. I will take it in my hands and look down and make sure that everything is nice and straight, that the grip is not twisted. Now let me show you what I'm using to line these grips up with. All these grips come, you can see that little line right there, okay? There's also another one right down here at the bottom of the shaft, at the bottom of the grip. I'm just looking right down this shaft and in this grip, making sure that those 2 lines are straight, okay? And you've got a little bit of time here to wiggle and twist the grip, okay? And there it is. That's all it takes to regrip a golf club. Just going to put it aside. Now, let me do one more. Excuse me. Let me do one more here. I'll talk you through it. I've got the vise adapter on. Got my club in the vise. Got it square. Tighten it up. Take my tape. Remember to leave a little excess at the end, 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Okay, cut it off. Take my fingernail and peel the paper backing off of the double-sided tape. wrap my tape around, get it nice and smooth. And again, one thing here, make sure that this tape is smooth. I got a little bit of a wrinkle there. If you get many wrinkles underneath in this tape, you'll be able to feel it underneath your grip. Take the excess tape, fold it over the end, grab my grip, get it to where I've got words down, a little bit of solvent, shake it back and forth, control the flow of my solvent out, okay, and then nice and quickly just slide that grip on. There it is. I mean, you can see how quickly I've got that done once my clubs are prepared and ready to go. So you can do all the stripping of your grip, taking the old grips off and getting the old tape off indoors if you want, okay, while you're watching television or something, and then come out to the garage or wherever you're going to do it later and put them on. I can put a whole set of grips, 13 grips on a set of golf clubs once I have them ready to go in 15, 20 minutes.
Well, there you have it. That's just how easy it is to put on a grip. People get a little scared of this, and the first time you do it, take your time. Don't try and rush through the process. And I would suggest that when you do order your grips, order yourself maybe one extra one. You can. That way, if you make a mistake, you and have to cut that grip off, you will have enough grips for yourself. Look down at the bottom of this video for a link, and I'll show you where I buy my grips from, and you can buy them there as well. Thank you so much.